So, I welcome you to DVxUI. Today on this channel, we are going to create this amazing looking hero section in Figma. We are going to explore component and prototyping along with the designing. So let's start. Well, if you are new to Figma, let me introduce you to this screen. So over here, I have the pages, and under pages, I have YouTube where I am currently working, and that's why it is highlighted. Now over here I have the layers, and under layer you find one layer called resources, and if I double click on this grid icon I will go to this frame, and these are everything that we need to create that animated hero section using Figma. Well, I think this is enough for the left panel. Let's also learn about the right panel by using a rectangle. Make the size big. And now if I don't select this rectangle, nothing much appears over here. But if I select it, options have appeared, and these can be utilized to change the appearance of this rectangle. So if I change the corner radius to 200, it will be changed. The corner radius will be provided on all the sides. So this is how the right panel works. And let me delete this one. And did you see it? When I pressed delete, it appeared over here. So if I'm using a shortcut, it will be available over here for you to learn that what shortcuts I'm using while making my design. So shall we start? I think we should. So the video is divided into three parts. The first section that we are going to tackle is the design, the second one is the component, and the third one is the prototyping. So for the first one, let me take a frame. So you can go over here, or you can hit F on your keyboard to go over here and find a desktop frame right from here. Just click on it and it will be dropped on your canvas. Now it is very small. To make it large, hit Shift and 2 and it will be fit completely on your screen. And this is very perfect for the designing purpose. Now let us first start this designing process by designing our background first. So the background color is white. We don't want that. We want a black color. So we will select this frame, go to fill, and here instead of 6 times F, which is white color hex code, we will write 00 and it will be taken as 6 zeros. It means the black color hex code. So far it is perfect. Now what we can do is we can provide a stroke to our frame just to make it look even better. So I will select my frame, go to stroke, provide a stroke of weight 4. It is basically the width of the border, and currently the color is black, that's why the border is not visible. As you can see, I will select this and change this border color to white. Now the border is visible, and change this position to outside. Then I will also provide some opacity so that the border does not look very prominent and it must give a subtle look. So I will give it an opacity of 30%. This is perfect, but I guess we can increase the border width. So select again and change this the weight to 6 pixels. And let's see. Yeah, this is perfect. Now the second step is we need layout guide. It means if we want to place element correctly on our frame, we need something to guide us. I will select my frame, then I will go to layout guide, switch to columns, and here in the count I'm going to write 16 and in the margin I'm going to write 120. This is perfect, and now you will see red bars have appeared. Now these red bars are going to guide us throughout the process of designing so that we don't lose the alignment. So now since it is done, let us start putting the elements on this hero section. So the very first element is going to be the header, which is going to be over here. So for that, let me zoom in over here. Take a text. So this element is for the text. You can click over here. Take a text, drop over here and write monk with a dot. select it, change the font size to 32 with medium font weight, place it over here, and this is 58. Let's take 48. Perfect. And now we need something called nav links over here. So for that, let's zoom in, take a text, write home, the first nav link, copy paste, and write courses for the second one, Control D for the duplicate, write instructors for the third one, and for the last one you need to write contact. Perfect. Now I'm going to select all of them, put it over here. Now first of all I need to change their appearance because these are very large to be a nav link. So I will change the font size to 20 pixels and change this font weight to regular. Now since the styling is changed, I will go over here in the layout and I will provide an auto layout by using this icon. Now the gap between them is 88. This gap is 88. We want a gap of 70. Now the 70 gap is provided, and let me zoom out. And as you can see, these are not placed at the center of this frame. So how can we do that? We can do that by using this alignment tool. And let me use this one, and this will be placed at the center. But we need to move it up. Something like this. Now if the user is on the home page, we must denote that. So I will select the rest of these, go over here in the fill color, and I will reduce down the opacity to 40%. And now the home will be highlighted, denoting that the user is on the home page. Now the third thing is a button that goes over here. For that button, I'm going to have social icon buttons. So for that, let me zoom in over here, right click, go to plugins, then manage plugins, and here you need to search for box icons. This is the icons library. I will select this one and then run it. Here in the search, I'm going to search for Facebook. Select this icon and it will be dropped on your frame. Now the next icon that we need is the Instagram. Click on this one. And you might be saying, where are our icons? They are over here. Select both these two. And you might be saying that there are no icons. Well, there are. It's just they are colored as black and same as the background. We need to change this selection color to white. Perfect. And now what we need to do is we need to change their size as well. So currently the dimension is 24 by 24. We will firstly lock it and then change it to 34 by 34. So by locking it, if you change this height, the width will also be changed. Now the spacing between them is 19, which is a lot. We need around 12. Perfect. Now to make their alignment perfect, I'm also going to put them in auto layout by using this icon once again. And this is perfect. And now I'm going to align it over here. Now since we have all the elements of the header, what I can do is, firstly, let me tell you one problem. As you can see, the frame name is visible. It means that this element, this complete element, is not inside this desktop frame. As you can see over here, it is outside. We just need to select it, cut it, go to desktop and paste it. And it will be pasted right at its own position. Let me zoom in. And we need to make the alignment perfect. So make it left a bit. Perfect. Now what I can do is I can select all these elements since they belong to the header. I can use this alignment tool to align them at the middle, place them at the top. Perfect. And now optionally what I can do is I can right click and give them an auto layout. And this will make them look perfect. Now since our header is ready, what next we need to do is we need to put the picture over here. So we will go to resources, select this picture, copy it, go to desktop again and paste it. Now it is not completely aligned, so I will use this alignment tool to align it at the middle. And now our elements are hidden. So what we can do, we can right click on this one and make it send to back. In this way, the element will be visible perfectly. But let me tell you one more problem. If I remove this layout guide, you will see it clearly. So let me hide it once. And now as you can see, the picture ends over here abruptly. This will make it look not very much good. So how can we fix that? So there is an easy fix for this one. So the very first step is to select this picture and lock it so that it does not interfere with whatever we are going to do next. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rectangle, drop it over here and change this width to 1440, which is same as the width of this frame. Let me show you. So the width is 1440 and the height is 1024. The same height we are going to provide to this one as well. So 1024. And now I'm going to cover my complete frame. So I have put that rectangle in the very center. And now I'm going to give it a 00 black color. Perfect. And now I will go to color once again, go to gradient, and then I will rotate this gradient. I want it from left to right. And this color is also going to be 00, but with 0% of the opacity. In this way, this part will be visible and this part will be black. As you can see over here, the monk is slightly black on the left side and slightly more visible on the right side. But this still does not solve our problem. So we will select it from here and move it till over here until the sharp edge is not visible. And what else we are going to do is we are going to select this one and move it a bit outward, something like this. Make sure it is at the center. Perfect. And now from here I'm going to select my rectangle and put it right above this image, which is our background image, as you can see over here. And the header is now perfectly visible. Now I'm also going to lock this rectangle because this might interfere with my designing process, which I don't want. And now let's take a look, and this looks absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to select the desktop once again, enable the layout guide, and now I will work on the hero text part, which is going to be over here. So let me zoom in. Perfect. Select it once again, Shift and 2, and now it is at the perfect position. Take a text and write, find your inner monastery. I hope the spelling is correct. Perfect. The spelling is not, as usual. I will right click and thanks to Figma spell check, the spelling is correct now. I will select this text, change this font size to let's say 70, place it over here, and I will also change this font weight to let's say medium. Perfect. And now this looks fine. I will select this once again, go to typography, enable the more options, and I will provide this vertical trim. In this way, there will be no height given extra to this text, and this will help me judge the spacing very well. Now we need a description for this one. So for that, I'm going to take a text, and here I'm going to write learn. This is going to be a pretty long text. So learn timeless art of meditation. Let me select it and change the size first. So let's say if we change it to 18, zoom in, and let's continue writing. Practiced by monks for centuries. Select it, change this font weight to regular, place it over here, something like this. And let me also change the opacity to, let's say, 40%, because I don't want this to be very prominent and this is very subtle now. So we need to provide 60, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, 60 is perfect. Now the next thing is we need buttons over here. So for that, I'm going to take a text and write get started. Select it, change this font size to 20 with medium font weight. Now I will right click and use this add auto layout. Now the horizontal padding for this layout is going to be 20. The vertical padding is going to be 18. And I will fill it with a color so that the padding is visible and provide the primary color. Now the contrast for this button text color is not very good with the background, which is yellow. So I will change it to 00, which is black. And this is perfect now. And I will place it over here, something like this. Now I will take one more text and here I'm going to write view courses. Select it, place it over here. Make sure it is at the center with the button. Yeah, perfect now. And this hero section is looking quite decent, but we can enhance the view by providing something called crown. So a crown will be provided over here. Let me take a text and design that first. So here I'm going to write flat 40% off for all users. Perfect. Select it, change the font size to 14 with regular font weight. I will make one more copy of it. Change the text to new and I will tell you why. Firstly, let me select this one, right click, add auto layout. The horizontal padding for this one is going to be 10, but the vertical one is going to be reduced down to 8. Now, I'm not going to provide fill, but instead I'm going to provide a border of white color with 30% of the opacity and a corner radius of full. Perfect. Now I will select this text, reduce down its opacity to, let's say, 60%. And now we are going to use this new to enhance the look of this crown. So first of all, I will change its color to this one, which is our primary color. Then I will right click, provide an auto layout and change the padding to, let's say, 7 in the horizontal and 6 in the vertical. And I know designers must be crying that why I used 7, because an odd number is generally not preferred, but in this case 7 works fine. So it is often important to break the rules. So to make that auto layout visible, we need to provide a fill color, and the fill color is going to be of primary color. But if both the color are same, text will not be visible. So I will provide this an opacity of 20%. And I will also provide a corner radius of full. So it will look something like this. Now what you can do is, you can just cut it from here, not the corner radius, but this one. So cut it, select this one and paste it. Move it to the left and this looks absolutely perfect. Select it and place it over here. And let's see. Yeah, this is looking much better. And I guess we can reduce down this padding to 7 once again, designer's pane. and let me move it to a bit down. Yeah, perfect. Now I guess we are done with the hero text part, and if we have that monk picture over here, there'll be an empty space over here which we don't want. So let's see how we can utilize this empty space. So let me select all these, put it a bit up so that we have plenty of space over here. Now let's zoom in, take a text, drop it over here and write 240, select it, change the font size to 44 with regular font weight, but the fill color is going to be changed to a gradient, and the darker color is also going to be white, and the top color is going to have an opacity of 0%, but this will make it look not very great. So I will select this and put it a bit at the top so that we can get the gradient effect without losing the information. So now this is perfect. Let me make one more copy of it for the other text, one more for the other text, and now take a new text, drop it over here and write courses with a small c, select it, change the font size to 20 with regular font weight, select it, put it over here, select both these text, right click and add them in auto layout. Perfect. The gap between them is 15, let's take 16 just to please my designer friends. Now what we can do is, I don't think we need these two, so let me delete them. Select it, make a copy of it, and now we can change the data inside them and it will work perfectly. So this one is going to be 200k. Increase the size so that it does not go below that line, and also let me change this alignment to center so that it appears at the center of this box, and change this to practitioners. Perfect. Increase the size, put it at the middle. Perfect. Select it again, and what we can do is, you can see this is looking very odd, so you can go in the width under the auto layout, and by using this small icon you can make it hug content, and this will hug the content. Select it, make a copy of it, change this to 22 plus and this text to instructors. Perfect. Now select all of them and provide a gap of this gap, which is the spacing, not this gap. This gap is for these two and this spacing is for all these text. So the spacing is going to be 100. Place it over here, something like this, and let's see. Yeah, this is perfect now. And to separate them, what we can do is, we can put a line in between of them. So take a line, draw it something like this. Make sure the rotation angle is either 90 or minus 90, does not matter. Change the stroke color to yellow color, the weight to 3, and the gradient will be provided. Now here in the middle, you need to click in the bar. Now for this one, I'm going to copy this color in all of them. So just copy it. Now for these extreme 2, I'm going to reduce down the opacity to 0%. And it will give me a beautiful effect, something like this. I will select it once again because I need one more of this and place it over here. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select all of them and let me fix one thing. So the width of this one is 117, the width of this one is 117. We need to make the width of this one 117 as well. So make it 117, and now this is not perfect, so I will select it, change it to middle. Now I will select all of them and the spacing is mixed. We need 50. And now this looks perfect. What we can do is we can put it a bit down just to fix the alignment and put these down a bit. Yeah, this is perfect now. And let me select this desktop and remove this layout guide. And now as you can see, the designing part of this section is done and we have done a great job. Now let's move on to the next section, which is making the components. So for that, I will close this desktop, go to resources, copy this monk picture, go to desktop again, and I will move it aside and paste that picture over here. Now since we have the picture here, what we can do is we can take a frame, drop it over here, and this is a very small frame. So I will lock it and change this height to 568 and the width will also be changed. And let me rename this to monk. Perfect. Select this monk, cut it and paste it over here. Align it at the middle by using this alignment tool. Perfect. And now what we need to do is we need to select this picture and move it down. I will tell you why, but let's see what is this gap. It is currently 90. I needed 64. So thrice and 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now this is 64. So you can hold Alt by selecting your picture, and if you move your cursor out, you will see this gap, which is currently 64 as we wanted. Now I'm going to make one more copy of it, place it over here, and in this one I don't need any gap over here. I just want to place this picture at the very middle. So see, this picture is at the middle with no gap at any side. This step is very important, so make sure you pay your attention at best. Now to-state of our picture is ready. So what we can do is we can select both these two and remove this fill color as we don't want them. Now I will select both these frames. So remember that I'm selecting my frame and the picture is inside this frame. Now I will make a component out of them. I will go over here in the down button, click on it, and then I will go in the create component set. Make sure you select this one and this will create a set of our component. So now inside this bigger component we have two states. So first one is this, which is named as default, and the second one is this, which is named as default once again. But let me change this one to hover. Perfect. You need to select this first picture, then switch to prototype, and then go over here until you see this small dot, and you will select it and put it over here, something like this. And then what you else need to do is you need to select the second one, select this dot and put it to the first one. Now select both of these, click over here, and now in the trigger we need to provide after delay, and the delay is going to be 1 second, and this delay is the delay when it stays on one position, either it is at the top or at the bottom. Now then for the property 1 we need to leave it like this, and for the action as well, but in the animation we need to make it smart animate. And when you select smart animate, some more options will appear, and for the curve you need to select custom bezier. And now what you can do is you can play with this one also, but I'm going to tell you exact values. So just remove all and write 0.5 comma, then 0, then comma again, 0.5 comma and 1. and the curve will look something like this. It has to look something like this. Now for the duration, you need to write 2600, which is going to be in the millisecond. Now let me cross this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to assets. Then I'm going to go to this one, and here I will find the prototype that I have just created. I'm just going to click on this one and then click on insert instance, and an instance of this component will be inserted over here. Now I will select this and I will give it a starting point. So click on this one, and now if you click on the small movie icon, you will see the animation is working. So let us wait for this to load. And if it is not working, what you can do is you can click on the small icon and it will start moving. So this is how we have successfully animated our monk. And now we need to work on the second animated part, which is the circle. So I will remove this and place him over here because we might need him later on. Something like this. And now let's work on the circle part. So for that, again, we need a frame first. Drop it over here. And let me rename it to circle. Switch back to design. Clip it. Change this height and width to 456 by 456. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one. Zoom in. Let me switch back to file here because this looks weird. Now I'm going to take a circle, hit O on your keyboard, drop it over here, and we need to change the size. So let me clip it. Change the size to 360 by 360. Perfect. Place it at the middle. Now I don't want this fill color, so I will remove this. Instead, I want a stroke of weight 4, but with the color which is going to be this one. Perfect. The circle is created. Now we also need a square inside this one. So for that, I'm going to take a rectangle, drop it over here at the very center, clip it, change the dimension to 208 by 208. Place it at the middle once again. Remove this fill color, go to stroke, weight is going to be 4, of color yellow, and this is perfect. Now I'm going to make a copy of this rectangle, and then I'm going to rotate this, something like this. So not to get any arbitrary, we are going to provide an angle of 45 degrees. So it will make it look something like a religious symbol, and that's how we want it. Now this is perfect, but this is going to be the first state of our moving circle. So for that, what we need to do is we need to select it and create 3 more. Perfect. Now I'm going to select all of them. Remove this fill color because we don't want that. And then I'm going to select the first circle, this one over here. Then go to stroke, switch to gradient, and both these colors are going to be same. So just make them, both these colors are same. And I will put it over here right at the center. And then I will align this one along with the vertices of the circle. As you can see, here is the vertex of this circle, and I want to align it with this one only. But now you will see there is not much effect that has created. It is because if we select this one, which is the first one, and change its opacity to 0%, the effect will be created, and that's how we want it. Now I'm going to select the second one. Let me take it over here, go to stroke, switch to gradient, make both same, push this one over here at the center, this one over here, aligned with this vertex. Now the second color is going to be 0 and the second state will be created. Now select this third one, do the same, gradient, change the color, push it at the center, and this one is going to be aligned from this vertex. Perfect. And make this, not this, but this one to 0. And for this one as well, select it, go to gradient, provide the same color, push it at the middle, and then go over here at the vertex and make it 0. Not this one, but this one. Not that. Yeah, perfect now. And now you will observe that this last one is same as the first one. It means we have missed one state, and it is when we move from here, we should go over here. So I guess what we need to do is we need to select all these, push it over here, select this one, put it at the middle. Now select the circle, go to stroke and make it over here. Perfect. So now if the circle is moving, the first part that is going to be visible is going to be this one. The second part is going to be this one. The third one is going to be this one. And the last one is going to be this one. In this way, a perfect loop will be created. And let me show you how we can do that. So again, I'm going to select all these frames, not the circles, not the squares, but the frames. And then I'm going to go over here and make it component set once again. Perfect. Now what we need to do is we need to change the name, because this one is named as default. We will name it 1. This one, let's name it 2. This one is going to be named as 3. And this one is going to be named as 4. Perfect. Now it's time to prototype them. So for that, let's select this one, go to prototype and select the first one, and this will be prototyped with the second one. I know there is not much gap, that's why it is not visible. So let me provide the huge gap so that you can see it properly. Select all, go to design. The spacing is mixed. Let me provide 200. And this one is out of the component. Select it and make it something like this. Perfect. Now you can see the prototyping very well. Switch to prototype again, and the first one goes over here, the second one will go over here, the third one will go over here, and the last one will go to the first one. Perfect. Now I'm going to select all these, and in the interaction I will click over here. Then from the trigger I will switch to after delay, and the delay is going to be of 1 millisecond. The action and property are going to be same. The animation is going to be smart animate, but with linear animation. And the duration is also going to be lot less, which is going to be 600. So now our prototyping part is also done. Let me cross this and let's see if it works perfectly. Switch to assets, select the circle, drop an instance, place it over here, add a flow point, click on this icon, and yeah, this works really perfectly. Let me cross this. Now both the moving part are perfectly animated. Now what we can do is we can start placing them inside our main frame. So switch to file. Now firstly, I'm going to select this monk let me copy it. Not copy because this is an instance. We can put it directly over here, and I will align it something like this so that it looks like that he's sitting over here. Perfect. Now I'm going to select this one, remove this flow, place it over here right at the middle, and now I will send it to back, and this will be sent to extreme back, but I don't want that. I want to place it above these two, so it will look something like this. Perfect. Now I will select these two, and what we can do is we can put them in group, but before that let me switch to design and do one last thing. Take a circle, drop it over here, clip it, change the height to 290 by 290, and let's also change the color to yellow, and this one is going to be 70%. Perfect. And now we need to provide an effect. Let me place it first. So select it, place it over here, something like this, and now send it to back, but not the extreme back, but above these two, and I guess we can place it above this component as well. Perfect. And now we need to go to effect, switch to layer blur, go over here, change the value to 410, and this will create this glowing effect and it will make it look even better. Now everything is placed. Let me fix some alignment so that it does not look very odd. Yeah, I guess this is perfect. Now we can test out this animation by selecting it and clicking on this small play icon, and this will load the prototyping mode. And if it looks static in your case as well, what you can do is you can hit R on your keyboard and this will take you to the next frame. What you need to do is just click over here on the frame, not on the frame, outside the frame, and then click on this icon and it will start working. Well, we have beautifully created this hero section, and if you also have done it along with me, consider sending it to our Telegram group. And if you prefer Discord, you can also send it to there. I will wait for your version of this design. Till then, we will meet in the next one.